It's not going to cause you to earn a ton of money because again, you're not having the huge amount of downloads and audience views, but it will help over time. And eventually, like when you do start to get to become a bigger, larger podcast, those original podcast episodes are still going to be floating around and you're still going to have people going back to listen to them. And those affiliate links will continue to work for you over and over and over again. Welcome to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinal, and this is a space where bold moves meet inspired action. Join us as we dive into stories, strategies, and mindset of those who are building their dreams, creating impactful communities, and redefining success on their terms. Whether you're looking for practical business tips, a boost of inspiration, or a community that gets your vision, you are in the right place. Get ready to elevate your journey and embrace what it means to be a bold founder. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinal, and today I am so excited to be talking about podcasting. Should you start a podcast? Why should you start a podcast? What's the strategy behind the podcast? And how can you make money from podcasting? And I just want to pull back the curtain on this a little bit because there is this thought and conception that if you are going to start a podcast, you need to have like a ton of downloads, like over 10,000 downloads in order for you to start making profit on it. So I wanted to pull the curtain back behind that and show you how I'm actually monetizing my podcast without having 10,000 downloads on every episode. So let's dive in. Okay, I want to start this off by really talking about your intention behind your podcast and how that has really shifted for me, even just in like the first 2 seasons to now season 3, and how I'm really being intentional. I've also changed like a little bit of how my business is running, which we have talked about. I've been slowing down a little bit more, putting more focus on really focusing in on the things that are important and removing things that are not, because it does take a lot of energy from you to do something that is like cool to do and something you're excited about, but actually doesn't have like any alignment or goal orientation within your business. So really think about your podcast from an intentional standpoint. And we want to make a conscious decision to build a system that supports that with ease. Removing that hustle culture from our podcasting, which can easily creep in because there is a lot of things that come into being a podcaster. Like when we think about our content, we think about how we're going to market it on social media. If we're going to do an email list, like there's a lot of stuff that goes in, and even getting guest speakers, like a lot that goes into it. So we really want to take everything we have and like make sure that if we're creating a podcast episode, that it feels really in alignment and strategic and intentional. At least then, if we are building this podcast so that we can grow our businesses, create profit from it, we are really like creating content that is entirely focused on our goals. That's the whole preface of really being an entrepreneur. And something that I've really had to learn the hard way is to figure out, okay, this is what I want. This is what my goals are. And everything I do needs to stem from that. So we're going to really think intentional about our podcasting and how we're going to grow our business with our podcast, also monetize with our podcast, but make sure it doesn't feel like heavy and like it's too much work to do all the time. We want to make sure it feels always aligned and like it's driving profit, people, brand awareness, always back to our end goal. Okay, so the beautiful thing about podcasting is it really does allow you to build your authority, which is amazing. It kind of shocked me a little bit when I first started podcasting and having people go, "Oh my God, Jory, you have your own podcast? This is amazing." And getting invited onto other people's podcasts. It just allows you I always find it allows you to practice your voice a little bit more, get a little bit more comfortable with speaking in the comfort of your own home, but also like figuring out more vocally what your brand stands for and aligns for. And so I really love that piece of it. But it also just allows people to get an extra chance to get to see you, to hear you speak, to hear your passion, your excitement, all the things I talk about when it comes to social media, but also translated into your podcast. So when you're creating a podcast, I want you to think about, okay, let's build your authority in your niche. Let's really focus in on our niche and who we want to reach with our audience and how we want to direct them. Like we want to create some major like, know, and trust within our audience and who's listening to us, because that is how they start to fall in love with who you are. And then when you do put an offer out there, they're like, "Oh, this aligns perfectly. I really love this. And I've already like trusted that she knows what she's talking about. And I'm going to definitely purchase from her." And if we're talking about the purchasing aspect, it actually makes it so much easier to showcase your offers if it doesn't feel so salesy, right? So when I get to tell you about the things that I created, like the bold marketing calendar, it's like so exciting and I'm so passionate about it, about how you can use this product using Trello. And it just helps you outlay all of your marketing goals, how you're going to reach your audience, the type of content you're going to share. Are you going to go through your email list? Like it just puts it all in one calendar. It's like a checklist for you. I just love it so much. And so I get to tell you about that in a way that doesn't feel salesy. Like right there, I got to tell you about my product and it didn't feel like I was selling into you. I was like very excited to just share it with you. So even if your audience is small, you can really be intentional and create an engaged audience because then they know every time they come on and they listen to you, she knows what she's talking about. We love what she talks about. We love how she speaks. We love the content she brings out. We love the speakers she brings out. Like we just have had the opportunity to allow our audience to fall in love with who you are. And that's what really, really matters. And that's what makes your podcast binge worthy. We want them always coming back, excited for the next episode. Okay, so now that we've actually gone through like the intentionality behind your podcast and like really creating that know, like, and trust factor, I really want to dive into the actual reason you're here, which is how do we make money from our podcast? So let's begin talking about monetization. So again, we kind of have this like preconceived notion that for a podcast to be successful, we need to have over 10,000 views per episode. And that's kind of how you think, okay, I'll get sponsored posts at that point. I'll get money coming in. I'll have people wanting to like invest in my podcast. And that takes a while to get there because it's not like it's going to happen overnight. You need to build your following. They need to become loyal fans of you, supporters. They want to be able to talk with you, communicate with you, share your posts because they loved the podcast episode. And sometimes that just doesn't happen right away. But I don't want you to start podcasting and be like, well, this is my end goal in like 10 years, like, or however, it could be shorter than that, but I'm just exaggerating. But I want you to start making money right now, or at least like figuring out how you can direct your traffic. So these are the ways that I am monetizing my podcast. Okay, so the first one is affiliate marketing. This is like one of the easiest ways that you can actually monetize your podcast because you can start sharing the things that you really love and then share links, like affiliate links. So if you don't know, an affiliate link is a link that is tracked and they kind of like, for example, I really love Grupo Nutrition and Grupo Protein. It is amazing. And so I've been really like sharing this because I really, really love it. And I'm going to continue buying it because it's amazing. I actually found it through a volleyball nationals tournament and it is the best protein ever. So I've been sharing it, but I've been sharing you guys with a code that allows you to get 10% discount, but it also tracks that I've shared it. It came from me. And then I can get a affiliate commission from that. So think about how you can do that for yourself. Are there products that you love? Is it a podcast mic? Is it like I use Riverside for all my recording? Maybe I can share Riverside and share a link for that. Is it a podcast hosting platform? Maybe you're part of a podcast network, which is what I am through Metamorphosis Media Group, where we like support each other through our podcast. Like how can you do that? So I like to have basically like an affiliate dashboard that I create for myself, and it's all the programs and software that I use. Some of them are not, like some of the things that I use do not have affiliate links, but I still will share them anyways. So for example, I love Trello. I think it's amazing. Trello does not have any affiliate links, which is so sad because it's so awesome. Like it's not that sad actually, but if you're talking about monetizing your podcast and monetizing creating profit that way, like it is kind of sad because you could technically monetize that. But I also really love Later. So Later is a scheduling app that I recommend to all of my clients. I've actually tried several different apps, but Later is the one that I love the most. And so it just allows you to like pop all your content into Later for like the whole month. You could technically even do like a whole year if you wanted to, but I think that's a little crazy when it comes to like actually scheduling and mapping everything out. So you can also include things like products you're loving from Amazon. Like maybe you're loving specific products. Like I have a camera that I'm using right now that I love. It's all from Amazon and it was really, really great because the camera on my computer, even though it's a fairly new computer, is not as clear and crisp as that. So then I love that one. So if I'm sharing specific like podcast episode training and talks, that would be a great thing to include as my affiliate link, right? So anything that you have that you absolutely love, I highly recommend making sure you own the product, you use the product, you love the product, because that does build the like, know, and trust. If you don't actually use it and you're just like copying something that someone else used because it's working well for them, it's not going to transfer well because it kind of goes against your credibility when people start to realize that you actually have never tried that product and that may slip out at one point. So I have a like thing where if I love it, I will share it. If I don't love it, it is not going to be coming out of my lips. So as much as someone may pay me money to do a sponsored post for some product, if I don't like it, It's not happening. What you can do is any podcast you do that you can think of like what are some affiliate links you can share that are specific to what you're talking about. So I kind of talked about a few there that I'll include in my show notes for you guys. But that way your audience can like go ahead and take a look at them. It's not going to cause you to like earn a ton of money because again, you're not having the huge amount of downloads and audience views. But it will help over time. And eventually, like when you do start to get to become a bigger, larger podcast, those original podcast episodes are still going to be floating around and you're still going to have people going back to listen to them. And those affiliate links will continue to work for you over and over and over again. So I totally recommend using those. My next thing that I think is really, really powerful is to sell and promote your own offers. So one, you could talk about, okay, I'm a social media agency. So we can talk about our social media side of how we operate, how we work with our clients, how we create like a stress-free I don't know, team behind them, supporting them with their social media so they always know that they're taken care of, that we are thinking about their goals and helping them come up with their content for their goals that align with everything so that they are successful. So we can talk about that side of it. We can also talk about any of the digital products. So I love digital products and passive income and passive products because it just like you have all this knowledge, people are asking you for it. So why not make it available? Even if you're not selling a ton, it's great to have it, but I mean, if you don't talk about it, no one's gonna buy it. So that's kind of why I like having this like part included in terms of the podcast because it is so easy for people to like get excited about the product, especially when they're just like talking about it versus writing it down in a caption. So it just makes it easier for people to be like, hey, I have this product. It's really amazing and you should check it out, right? So you've heard me talk multiple times about the Bold marketing calendar and how great it is for helping you to build your business and market your business and just like get all your ducks in a row that all align with your goals, your dreams, and what you want out of your business and out of your life. So definitely thinking about what do you have that you could offer and then share with your audience? Like I said, the bulk marketing calendar. I do also include a freebie with that, which is the planning CEO guide, which is like incredible for just really getting your mind set on what are your goals, what are your targets. Like, I don't know how many times I can say this, but it is so, so important that when you are showing up online, that you really think about what do you want? And then you have everything lead to that. So that is really part of the strategy of like really all business and life. And it's one that I'm really focusing in on because again, I used to really like if something looked cool and I wanted to do it, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Sounds so amazing. But then you look back and you're like, well, does that really align with my brand? Does that really push the needle forward? Does that really help me get to where I want to go? So those are like the two digital products that I offer. Actually, there's passive product income also. So if you don't know how to create a passive product like the Bold Marketing Calendar. Then I also have an offer that I don't talk about as much, but it's something that it's there so that I can support my audience. And that's just how can you actually create a passive product? Like, what are the steps to doing that? So there's that also. But like, you build these digital offers, and the podcast is a great way to just sprinkle them in. I mean, if they're already things you're talking about, why not give your audience access to them? Why not give them a chance to either purchase them, to take your freebies, to get on your email list that way? Like, that's another thing. You can have them go from your podcast to get a freebie and then they become on your email list. Like, it's just a great way to get people into your world a little bit more. Then I also have the Be Bold conference. So that's another way that I can like actually monetize because I can take an audience member who's been watching my podcast and listening to it and hearing my guest speakers speak. And a lot of my guest speakers are actually, all of my guest speakers are actually speakers at the Be Bold conference where you get to meet them in person. And so I just think it's like, it's such full circle to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm creating. This is what I'm offering. You've heard me talk a lot about the Be Bold conference in my call to action at the very end of the podcast, reminding you this is coming up. But I think it's just such a great way to be able to monetize your podcast without having to say, hey, I got sponsors that paid me X amount because I have 10,000 downloads. You can start monetizing at any point. And so those are just really great examples of how you can do that. And the fact that you're doing a like product offering of your own just really allows you to make more profit off of it than you would ever an affiliate or even a sponsored post. I mean, depending on how big you get. But yeah, I just think that that is hugely important. And then I did kind of allude to this a little bit, but how can we take them? How can we get people to join our funnels? Like, how can we get them on our email list? And once they're on our email list, then we can start nurturing them and getting them more involved in who we are, what we offer, and how we can help them. So it's like selling people into something, but not actually selling them into something. You're still just honestly creating more of that connection piece with them so that by the time you do offer something for them and it's like the right timing for them, they're like, oh, she knows everything. I trust her fully. So I'm going to go ahead with it. For example, I'm working on right now and I'm actually really excited about it. It's a lot of work because I want it to be amazing. And this is what I always do. But I have a new freebie that I'm going to be coming up with, and it's called the Bold CEO Weekly Email List. And so every single week, you're going to get like a CEO task check in to just get your mind right. Like, this is what we're going to achieve this week. Are you ready for it? What are your dreams? What are your goals? How are you aligning this week with your goals? And every single week is a little bit different, which is what kind of makes it so much special, but also so much more work. Anyways, that is coming. But like these are the little things we can sneak into our podcast that are really going to help you monetize it. Like we don't have to be this huge, giant podcast in order to be successful and in order for it to help our businesses grow and thrive. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I feel like it is such a, like, easy thing for us to do, but so easy for us to get lost in the, like, tangle that is podcasting, right? Like, we have so many things we have to do, and I'm really lucky that I have a team that also supports me with this. But if we can just get more focused on our goals and our dreams and just streamline it. Let's get rid of the things that aren't really working for us, and let's really focus in on the things that are needle movers for us. So make sure to share your affiliate links, the products that you love, and show your excitement and passion for them because it makes all the difference when you're talking about something. Share the product offerings that you have, right? Like I've shared with you that I've got my bold marketing calendar and it comes with a freebie of the CEO planning guide. And there's also my email list, which is the bold CEO weekly email list. Like these are all the things I have actually only just sprinkled in this episode that you guys need to check out. And if you have a podcast of your own, that is your platform to sprinkle all your own little things. You can create specific posts around it. You can just sprinkle it in here and there. You can say, oh my gosh, this Trello board was so incredible for me. I'm so happy I have it. I think you guys should check it out. Like, right? Like it is your way to just share your excitement. That's honestly what is the best seller in the entire world is just sharing why you created something, why people need it, how impactful it's going to be for them, and then allowing them to decide if it's right for them. But you've put it out there. It's your invitation to say, hey, come join me in this. And I want you to start thinking about how your podcast isn't just about a podcast. It's about your ecosystem. It's about the brand you're building. It's about where you can pull content from. So think about this. Like my podcast is an extension of my brand. It's an extra opportunity for me to get in front of you and help you better your business, but also share the reasons why I'm knowledgeable and know what I'm doing, right? So it's an extension of my brand and it's an extra opportunity for us to connect and build more relationships. It's also a really great place where you can actually create content from, which is a reason why I do video content. As much as I'm like, I don't really use the video portion on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Hi, if you're watching on YouTube. But I use the video content way more so I can pull the clips and put them onto social media because it's so much easier if you can hear me speak to you and see me speak to you, especially when you're visually planning something out. I'm not a fan of graphics with like the little squiggle lines and then the audio coming over top of it. I like to see the person's excitement and energy and the way they're talking about it. And so I love the fact that when you use video, you can just take that and plop it into your content strategy. And another part of your like ecosystem, your branding is the like you've got your email marketing funnel, another chance for touch point for your audience to get through what you're offering, get to see everything. It's an opportunity for you to share your offers and your launches. So even if we're only getting like 500 downloads, that is 500 downloads of your ideal listener hearing the right message at the right time. And that builds your momentum. And that's what makes your podcast work and be successful. So I don't want you ever to get caught up on the numbers because we have so much power with our podcast in building our brand, our awareness, our products, and getting everything out there so that we have an ability to grow so much faster. And if you're thinking, okay, Jen, I want to monetize my podcast and I want to actually create one or one that sells, like, what is my next step? So what do I do? So I'm going to recommend that you actually go and get that bold marketing calendar. It is like the best thing because again, I always say you want your goals and your dreams to lead where you're going in your business. And so we start with that in the bold marketing calendar. And I don't care how you actually decide to use it. You can use it I use it for social media marketing. Like I figure out what my content plan is going to be for the entire month and map it out so that I could check it off as I go, as I achieve and like get them done. But you can also use them for your podcast episodes. It's exactly how I map out my podcast episodes. I put in who I'm interviewing on what days, and my team has access to it so they can actually see what's coming up. I also use it for my emails so I can say, okay, this is what's going on this week for emails. I want to make sure my emails align with my content. It's like the best thing in the world. So I highly recommend that you take a look at that. It really helps you plan out across every platform or any specific one that you want to work on. But it is always very goal and like dream focused. We want to make sure everything always aligns to that. So the podcast link for the Bold marketing calendar link for that is in the show notes, so you can go check that out. And of course, if you love this episode, I really would love if you could like screenshot it on your phone and then put it on Instagram and then tag me at Jen Kinal. I would love to share it. I'd love to hear your takeaways, and I'd love to hear what you want more from, like more of what kind of type of content, because I feel like I'm just on a roll. As much as I'm like easing into the streamlined and more focused energy, I think it's actually allowing me to get more focused on like what I want to share for content also. So I don't know. I'm loving this like new season of like taking care of yourself and streamlining and being more strategic, working less, but like making more, and all these incredible things that come with slowing down that I probably never expected. All right, friends. So that is it for today. I hope this episode gave you permission and a plan to show up with strategy and not just hustle. You do not need to be like constantly busy. You don't need to have a massive audience. You don't need to do more and more and more. We just need to be really intentional and stay in our alignment of what we want in our dreams and goals, and let our systems work for you. Like the systems I'm putting into place right now are making me incredibly happy, because we just really need to have more systems in place so that we can have more freedom in our lives. So we can have more focus on what we want. We can grow faster. It's just like all working together, and I'm loving it. So I will catch you next time on the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. Bye for now.